to lose your home, even though you can look at it and say, oh, it's just a thing, it means a lot. And when people, grew up there, their parents were there, their grandkids are there, it's their home and it's their community. So we want to do everything that we can to make sure that people can stay where they're comfortable and feel loved.
Makes sense. Hey guys, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, your reverse mortgage experts, and you found the Serving Senior podcast. Now, this is the podcast we highlight those businesses and those individuals that help seniors not just get by, not just survive, but thrive in retirement. And today we have another one of those awesome businesses and two great people. We have Mr. Jason Shrum, and he has a special guest with him that he's going to introduce. But Jason is the Community Relations Director from Rita's Care at Home. He is a semi-funny comedian. He may even drop a couple of jokes on us here, but he's very good at introductions, and he's going to introduce his friend and business partner, Miss Rita.
All right, Matt, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. And I'll try to keep it all business today. But with me is my boss and a very special lady, a leading lady in this caregiving industry across Tennessee. Miss Rita Huffer is with us.
Thanks, Jason.
Come on, Jason, give it up for Rita.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and thanks for having me.
Rita, thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys for doing this, and we'll keep it real informal. Just look forward to getting to know you and what you're all about. And Rita, I found that whether it's this business or any, people love to work with people that they know and trust and understand and hear their story. So maybe you could share a little background, who you are, where you're from, and how did you get into this senior care world?
Well, I've been in this business a long time, over 30 years.
Okay.
I started out actually in insurance in my 20s and did some accounting work for a few years. And I was so bored because I love people. And so I finished my degree and got my social work degree and started working as a social worker in nursing homes.
Okay.
And I just loved it. And back then, there was no assisted livings. And then when assisted livings came along, I got my administrator's license and I started running assisted livings. So I ran several assisted livings in the Davidson County area and surrounding counties. But, I saw how hard it was for some of the residents to leave their homes where they'd been for years. And it was just heartbreaking for some of the residents, and it just broke my heart. So I decided to start an in-home care business for people that wanted to stay in their home and didn't want to leave and go to assisted living or nursing home. And, we can care for people from the time they start needing our services until their last days, even if they become bed confined. So, and I love this business because I love people. I don't get out as much as I used to because I'm getting a little older myself.
Sure.
So Jason's out there in the community telling people about us. And then we have a good group, office group here that really run our office and make sure everybody's taken care of.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome. Well, now as you said, you were in the insurance space for a while?
A long time ago, just for a short while. About 6 years, and then a couple of years in accounting. I was bored to death.
Got it. And what year did you guys get started in this business?
We're a family-owned business.
Okay.
We're just a family business. We got about 50 or 60 employees, and we started in 2009. We became licensed that year. And I started it out of my home, actually. And then we got so big that that didn't work anymore.
Okay.
Especially when my husband would get up and be running around in his drawer tail. And so I had to get an office space then. But we've been in business almost 16 years.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. That is so cool. What's, 16 years is a long time. Rita, I guess maybe share what's your motivation and what's your favorite part about the business?
I just enjoy working with people. It's every day's different and there's lots of challenges. But my inspiration was my mom and dad.
Okay.
They always loved people and they always believed in good customer service. And, they were compassionate people. And took me a while to figure that out, that that's what I needed to do.
Wow.
And so it's worked out real well.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
that's been my inspiration.
Wow, that's awesome. And Rita, I've always noticed that if people are all about the money, a lot of times the money doesn't come, but if you're all about the people and you take care of them, the money will follow. And that's one of the reasons we really respected you and wanted to have you on here, because we've always heard how you're all about the people, all about taking care of the people. And that's why you've lasted 16 years and why you've done so well. So really, we really respect that about you and appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, our staff, I mean, I have to say, Matt, they go above and beyond. For example, like during Christmas, believe it or not, one of our clients that we care for 24/7 had been in the hospital and they discharged him at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
And they called and the son was in a panic because he works out of state lots of times.
Okay.
So, or most of the time he is out of state. And so my office manager got up and went and cared for him the rest of the night because we couldn't get a caregiver out
Okay.
on that short of notice. So that kind of shows you how we go above and beyond.
Wow. That's awesome. That is so cool. You probably could have called Jason. Something tells me he may have just been stepping off a comedy stage at that hour of the night. He probably was available.
It goes to sleep about 9:30 these days.
Okay. That's a great story, Rita. I appreciate you sharing that with me. Could you, Rita, maybe you could do me a favor? I know Jason's been an awesome asset to your business. Maybe give me a little background. I'd love to hear a little background on Jason. What do you think his superpowers are and how he's been able to help your business? And what's he do for the team and staff?
Oh, Jason, he hadn't been with me very long, but
Yeah.
he's very good at what he does. And I knew right off when I talked to him on the phone that I wanted to talk to him in person because he's very personable and he cares too. He's a very caring person. And I'm going to turn it over to him and let him tell you how great he is.
That's hard to do. I don't usually like to talk about myself. Anyway, I was born July 31st, 1974, in a small cottage.
That's hilarious. Yes, Jason is funny. And Jason, we want to hear. Let's go ahead and hear it. What's your best clean PG joke you could share with us?
Oh, I don't know. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl when it's in the bathroom?
No idea.
Because the P is silent.
Corny. He's corny sometimes.
That's great. That was a good one, Jay. You definitely you've got your adult after hours
Right.
comedy club, and you've been working on your dad jokes for the senior.
There's always two shows, one at 8:30 for the family, and then the midnight show.
There you go. Well, Jason, go ahead.
Tell him, Jason, why you wanted to come and work in this industry.
I will. Thank you for the lead in, Rita. I have kind of an eclectic background, to say the least. Yes, I did stand-up comedy for about 12 years. And then I owned and operated a brewery in Seattle for nearly 10 years. And when COVID kind of knocked the wind out of us, I decided that I had been missing my family, who was down in the South for the last 10, 11 years that I was out in Seattle. And so I wanted to move closer to my home. I grew up. And that was, I didn't want to go all the way back to Florida, where I was originally from, but Nashville seemed like a good spot to stop. We had just recently, at that time, when I decided to move, put my stepfather into hospice. He had been in memory care previous to that. My uncle was also going through a battle with throat cancer.
Okay.
And I just wanted to be closer to my family and help out. And I saw particularly my mom, who was her husband and her brother going through these things, and my mom trying to manage all this, all going on at once, and trying to help and trying to be a wife and a sister, but also a caregiver. And I saw how some of these facilities operated, and we were had moved my grandmother, who's now 97, into a senior living facility. So all this stuff was around me, even though it wasn't necessarily what I was into. And when I moved here, I kind of stumbled upon Rita's online. And I thought, what an interesting kind of sign from the universe that I put in all these things for, writing and brewing. But like the first thing that popped up on this algorithm on Indeed was for caregiving. And I thought, well, there's kind of a sign. I don't know that it'll really work out, but I'll send a resume. And Rita called me, I think the next day. And we probably talked for like 35 minutes on the phone. Then we met for lunch, and I think we had like a 2.5 hour lunch. So it was a perfect fit.
Wow. That's great. How's it? What's been different and better than what you expected now that you're actually doing it?
I didn't expect the love from this community. Everybody in this community is really caring, even if you're a competitor, or as our friend Paul Ellis likes to say, a co-petitor. Everybody's so friendly and so helpful. And I kind of felt lost at the beginning, right? I'm moving into a new position. I mean, I know how to market, I know how to do sales, but I don't necessarily know how to do that particularly for this line of work. And from the first meeting I went to, networking meeting that I went to, everybody reached out. What can I help you out with? And that's become just such a great asset. Even when I go and I'm meeting with people, maybe I can't help them directly, but I now know somebody that can, whether it's in reverse mortgages, or the people that clear the clutter from people, like kind of the hoarding situations. Like I've met like 6 of those people. I didn't even know they were real except for like the TV show. Estate sales, stuff like that, like stuff I didn't think
great.
that I was ever going to be, real estate agents, that I didn't think I would be running into in this industry. And then the people that I meet are just so great. So it's just gone from beer and jokes to people. So,
hey, that's awesome. Well, there's room for beer and jokes in there with the people, but I'm so glad that you've really dove in and met some great people. And from the first time that you and I crossed paths, I could tell that I was standing in the corner by myself. You had a group of people around you and just gravitating, to your personality. So
very popular, yeah. And now I have a puppy, so now I'm super popular.
Oh my gosh, man, that's awesome. That's fun. Well, I'm so glad that you're enjoying it and it's working the way you wanted to. Maybe either you or Rita, you guys together, could you guys? I think some people listening and watching this may not totally get. They get like a doctor, they get like nursing home, and then they get like a babysitter, but they may not get the idea of like what is in-home care. How does it help people? Is it a nurse in your house? Those type of things that people that outside of the world may not follow. So maybe if you could give an example of somebody you met that was in a tough spot or things weren't going well, that you guys got involved and then you've improved their situation and they've been able to stay at home and thrive.
I'll start that with kind of like what we are. We are in-home non-medical caregiving. Okay. So we can't administer any kind of medical procedures. But what we can do is everything else. And we can do medication reminders, any kind of personal assistance, whether it's assistance with bathing or toileting, transferring, which would just be moving you like from bed to wheelchair to, comfortable sitting position. General companionship is what we offer as well. And that's, pet care, making sandwiches. Maybe we've got to run to the grocery store. Anything that we can do to make somebody's life more comfortable and let them stay in their home is super valuable. People work really, really hard for their homes. Home is special.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to leave their home for whatever reason. I mean, you see what's going on. California wildfires right now.
Right.
To lose your home, even though you can look at it and say, oh, it's just a thing. It means a lot. And when people, grew up there, their parents were there, their grandkids are there. It's their home and it's their community. So we want to do everything that we can to make sure that people can stay where they're comfortable and feel loved.
Makes sense. That's awesome. So that's kind of the background of what it is. And then Rita, do you have a couple examples of people that you guys have ran across over the years that you've really been able to help?
Oh yeah, we've had so many great clients. I'm thinking of one in particular that was very challenging. Actually, another agency had been caring for this little lady. She lived with her husband, but she was a preacher's wife, and always been a sweet little lady. But she got dementia, and it had gotten so bad that she had become violent. So the agency that was there before us, they backed out. They just didn't feel like they could meet her needs. And so the son called us. We went in, assessed her. We like a challenge. So we, what she would do is hit people over the head with her walking stick. So she can be pretty violent, or pinch them when they try to bathe her, because we do bathing. Right. So we just trained our caregivers in how to handle that, not turn their back on her, to always be alert, how to handle her bathing. We do a lot of training, our agency does, and we really strive to offer the very best caregiving in the business.
Okay.
And she just really did well. We enjoyed her. And we cared for her to her final day. She eventually, we cared for her several years. She eventually became bedbound, so we cared for her in bed, and then she passed away after a few years. So that was one of our challenges. But we just meet so many great people, and the fact that we're able to help them stay at home. We do meal preparation. We actually can go in and do everything for them.
Okay.
Many times the kids will hire us to totally take over their care. We do their shopping. We do their meal preparation, bed linen changing, housekeeping, light housekeeping. And then, like Jason said, pet care if they have a pet, because their pets are important. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we do.
That's great. That's an awesome story. So from nobody thinks they can take care of this lady all the way till caring with her till her last days. You guys picked it up and ran with it and made her last few days probably not lonely and sounds like a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And that's what Rita brings to this field, is a real sense of caring. And a lot of companies, they're very big. They cover a lot more territory and multiple cities and states and stuff like that. But being that we are smaller, our caregiving is absolutely exceptional. Like Rita mentioned earlier about Lyric, going to the rescue at 2:00 in the morning. All of our office, other than me, is trained at caregiving. So if there's a gap for some reason, a caregiver blows a tire on the way to a client or something like that, we can fill in immediately. Rita has always said we never let anyone down, and that is our philosophy. We are there all the time for everybody whenever they need. 24 hours. Our phones are on. We're here for the people.
That's awesome. Well said. That's great. Well, Rita, anything I was going to ask you, what makes you guys different? Because there is, other people in the marketplace, and you guys gave some, smaller, those type of things. Don't let anyone down. Just some great taglines right there. But maybe could you verbalize, Rita, and Jason, chime in there as well? What makes you guys different than the other people out there, and what kind of helps you stand out?
Well, we always answer our phones.
Okay.
I don't want to know anybody's going to voicemail. We also give our clients, when we sign them up and take on their providing their service, we do give them my personal phone number too, my cell number. So if for some reason something happens and they can't get the office, that's not going to happen normally, but then they have my number too that they can call. Or if they have any issue they're not happy about, we want to hear it. That's how we have such a good reputation. We want to hear if there are any issues. Another way we're different, and we tell our clients when we go in and meet them, if we place a caregiver in their home and they're not happy for whatever reason, they just don't feel like it's a good fit, whatever, just let us know and we remove that caregiver and place another one in, because we want people to be comfortable in their home. I know I want somebody that's a good fit for me when I get a little older, right? And they need help. So that's important to us, that they're comfortable. So that's another way we're different. Can you think of anything else, Jason?
Yeah, Matt, kind of building on that, we also don't do any kind of contracts, right? So like Rita said, you can switch out people when you want. When you want to change hours, let's say you needed 20 hours one week, but you need 30 the next, or whatever, as long as you give us a little bit of notice, and it doesn't have to be a lot. I'm not saying you have to tell us 2 weeks in advance. Life changes, things change. Mm-hmm. But if they can give us a little advance notice, we can make that happen as soon as possible. Like she said, somebody doesn't like a caregiver. People are different. People don't always mesh. So we'll get the right person. Maybe they want a better cook. We'll try to get somebody in there that can meet those needs. And as well as that, we also do a lot of agencies have to do, they have to do a 1-year background check on their caregivers. We actually do a monthly check. So we're up to speed with everybody's ongoing, and as well as with the families that we're caring for. We check in with them. How's the caregiver, doing with them? I personally do home assessments, ahead of time to meet the families and see exactly what their needs are, so that we can get the right person in there the first time.
Wow, that makes sense.
I think the fact that we don't do contracts is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's great. And it's interesting to see that you've mentioned too that you get a lot of business from other in-home cares and how the community gets along so well. On paper, you're all competitors, but really you just have different strengths and weaknesses, and you can gel and fit different needs. Yep. So those are just some great things that allow you guys to stand out. And also, instead of stand out in the cooperation with the group, but also stand out with your competition, where you guys can refer each other business. I think you mentioned one time you got numerous clients from other in-home care companies as well.
Yeah, right? Everybody's been really gracious. I mean, there's some companies, maybe their minimums are different. We try to stick to a 4-hour minimum, but we could do something else. If it's the right fit. But a lot of the companies have different things. Like they can only do 6 hours. So if they know we can do 4, then we'll get a referral that way. Or if it's a program like Choices through Medicaid that we take, that a lot of people don't take. So there's another reason to give us a call. So yeah, we everybody's different, but we all work together. When I was in the beer industry, it was the exact same way.
Okay.
But people were beer, if you will. So there'd be people that didn't like IPAs, and you go, oh, well, you need to go to this brewery because, they only do German Kolsch's. Or they're like, oh, I really like dark beers. Oh, you got to go over to this brewery because they have a really great, peanut butter stout right now. And we all sent people to other locations. And it's the same here. It's so community based that nobody wants to see somebody get stuck. Right. I deal with a lot of people that get stuck. They're calling because they're stuck. They don't know how maybe their insurance works. They don't know what to do, who to call. And so this community is really good at working together to fill all those gaps.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Well, Rita, I was going to ask you, when people call in and they're stuck and have challenges, do you guys have, maybe you could share with the audience some resources you might recommend, whether it's certain websites or things that people can do to help their family members, especially whether it's something for dementia or something for people aging. Anything you guys recommend for people to check out?
We do. I mean, we work, like Jason said, we work with other agencies.
Okay.
So, and if another agency can't meet a client's needs, they'll refer to us.
Okay.
We refer to people like you, like if they have challenges, financial challenges, but they have equity in their home, then we discuss that with them, possibly looking into a reverse mortgage, or we discuss with them there are other people in the industry that can help them get possible VA dollars if they're eligible, if they're veterans or a veteran spouse. So we refer there, or if they don't have any kind of funds, we may refer them to Medicaid or Choices. So just whatever their need is, we try to help in any way we can. Also, if they have long-term care insurance, another thing we do is we take that over. If they give us their insurance information and let the insurance company know that they're going to be using us, then we do the paperwork that's required.
Okay, that's great.
Each, we have to fax them or email them paperwork of the care we provided on a weekly or biweekly basis. We take care of all of that so the family doesn't have to worry about it. So we just try to help out any way we can.
Yeah,
we're very customer service oriented.
Yeah, that's a huge help. Tell me about what percentage of your clients, just in general, have long-term care insurance or a third party that helps pay for it, and what percentage you think are paying for it just out of pocket, having to pay cash for the full thing?
Most of our clients are private pay, but we do have quite a few that have long-term care insurance. And we don't take assignment from the long-term care insurance, but we take care of all the paperwork so that the client gets their checks like clockwork. And then again, we do a little bit of Medicaid. A lot of the agencies don't, so a lot of times they'll refer to us. So we do a small percentage, but we do like to help out in the community and take some Medicaid.
Got it. That makes sense. So with the long-term care, is it mostly they pay for it and then it's a reimbursement, or do the long-term care?
Yeah, they pay for our services and then they're reimbursed by their long-term care insurance.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's great. And I think you mentioned educating people, and that's what we love to do, just because, Rita, we see so many of these people that, they need what you do, but they were raised in the era of you only do something unless you have to do it, and you be thrifty and you save your money, right? Which is perfect and fantastic. Unfortunately, with your clientele, that, eventually leads to a broken hip, right? If you can't get around the house and you're like, well, I'll get someone like Rita's Care at Home if I ever need it. Well, when you need it, you've already gone downhill, that they really need to meet you earlier, but they just don't want to spend that money. And that's where we can educate them that they may have the money, they may have tons of money. They just don't know it because it's, titled equity. It's buried in their backyard, right? And so we just show them that there's an easy way to unlock that equity. They still own their house. They still can sell the house whenever they want. They can get a little bit of the money and not have a monthly payment. So it's just a huge help to educate people to know that there may be another way to do it. And a lot of times they may be able to long-term care for, 5 hours, 10 hours a week, but they really need 24/7. And that's when we can step in and show, hey, you don't have to be thrifty on this. You can get what you need because that money is right there. It's just in your house. Here's how you can.
And still be able to stay in your own home.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
Exactly. And they still own it, and they can still pass the home on to the kids, which most people don't know that.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of our clients do very well, which is maybe 4 to 6 hours a day, for us to go in, get them up in the mornings, get their breakfast, help them dress or get them bathed, and then prepare their meals to for them the rest of the day and leave it for the rest of the day. But then we can do up to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if the need is. So it's really whatever the need is.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Well, a couple things as we wrap up here. I guess number one is if someone would like to learn more about Rita's Care at Home, what you guys do, what areas do you guys serve? And then how would they get in touch with you to learn more about what you guys do?
Sure. I can start and Rita can fill in wherever, but we service all of Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
So yeah, we're all over the place, up, down, left, right. But you can find us on the web at www.ritascareathome.com.
Okay.
And we're on all the social medias too. You can find us Rita's Care at Home on Instagram and Facebook. So.
And you can call our office. Like I said, we answer 24/7. We always have the phone. Someone in our office does.
Okay.
And that number is 615-298-3826. Even if you just have questions or if we can help you in any way, if we can answer any of your questions. We get questions like, will Medicare cover this? Which is no, unfortunately it doesn't.
Okay.
But we also help educate people on long-term care. Because like you said, Matt, a lot of people don't know the resources that are out there.
Yeah. Very well said. Yeah. Well, is there anything that I should have asked either of you that I didn't ask, or anything else you would like to share?
Well, we are licensed and fully insured.
Okay.
Let me think. Let me look at we're not a franchise. Like I said, we're a family business. But I think that's about it. Can you think of anything else, Jason?
No, I think we covered it all.
That's fantastic.
I think we had an excellent host, and that's why everything is so well mapped out.
Thank you. Hey,
yeah, what a nice guy.
I appreciate you guys. I'll send the checks in the mail. Hey, hey, Rita, could you do us a favor? You mentioned family business a couple times. I'd love to see your face, but I'd love to see the faces behind you. Maybe show the family behind the family business.
We've got a big sign here.
Who are they?
Let me get around here. This is my mom. She passed away about 4 years ago, but we cared for her in her home.
Wow.
For several years. She started out with about 4 hours a day and eventually needed 24/7. But she's always said she never wanted to leave her home.
Wow.
So I sure do miss her. And then this is my niece. And she actually worked in my business for about 6 or 7 years. Great. Just a really loving person and that really cared about the clients and really enjoyed working here. But unfortunately, she had to move on. And my nephew worked for me for several years. And my son actually worked for me for about 3 years. He decided it wasn't for him, so he moved on into cybersecurity. But this is definitely the place for me. So
that's so cool. That's all. Jason, it sounds like you may be getting some legal documents here soon they're called adoption papers. So that way Rita can say everybody that works here is my family.
Yeah, I already feel like family. I mean, everybody was so inviting when I got here. I mean, there's, like Rita said, it's family owned and operated. There's only a few people in the office, and then our many caregivers in the field. But I really do feel like family. It's not so much like your boss. It's very inviting, and Rita takes us out to lunch and invites us over to her home, and we play with her dogs. So it's very nice. It's a very nice environment to be in, and not only that, but a rewarding job when you know that you're helping people. Yeah. Making beer was fun. Making people laugh was also fun. But now we can actually physically help people. And I think that's pretty great.
Very well
and Matt, we have to mention our office manager, Lyric. You may have heard about her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And just, she's been with me for about, I'd say about 6 or 7 years now.
Okay.
And she's like a mini me. She really cares about people. And she's the one that got up at 2:00 in the morning and went and cared for a client that was discharged from the hospital. And that's just one of many stories.
Yeah.
And she definitely loves people, but we couldn't talk her into getting on here and talking with you today. So.
I have that effect on women, so I could get it. I repel them. I repel them. No, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you sharing your story, and look forward to having you guys on here again soon.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. And thank you for watching the Serving Senior podcast, where we highlight these awesome businesses and individuals that help seniors not just get by, but survive and thrive in retirement. Thanks again. Have a great day. Talk with you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you guys. Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniourspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.